Welcome to the Deep Dive, the intelligence briefing engineered to cut through the global noise and deliver the facts you need. Over the past 2 weeks, we've seen a significant and often quite covert escalation in global digital conflict. We're really witnessing operations move beyond simple hacking attempts. They're transforming into, well, integrated hybrid warfare and state-sponsored espionage.
And our mission today is to extract the critical patterns from these latest global reports. We've pulled intelligence from financial institutions, defense agencies all over the world. The goal here is to identify not just what was attacked, but the emerging strategies for defense. It's about giving you the knowledge to be informed, not just overwhelmed.
And before we dive in, we do want to thank our sponsor, ProWave AI, who are enabling adaptive security for a world of, well, increasingly automated threats.
It's also important to note that everything you hear today is synthesized intelligence powered by Stylo News. And this is key because Stylo News is the consumer version of Stylo Intel Ops software. That's the kind of tool designed for enterprise operations, government, military, global business.
So what you're saying is that our listeners are getting unique access to a tool that's really designed for global decision makers.
That's exactly it. It synthesizes intelligence from over 250 sources in more than 20 languages in under a minute. We are charting the actual course of digital warfare.
Okay, let's unpack that. Let's jump straight into the data that defines this new geopolitical battlefield.
The primary pattern, and this is the most concerning one, is that cyber operations are no longer treated as some kind of side skirmish. They are now deeply, deeply integrated into traditional geopolitical conflicts. The focus is on espionage and disruption.
And this shift is maybe clearest in the escalating U.S.-China tensions around espionage. Reports have surfaced alleging that a group of Chinese state-aligned hackers, they're identified as Salt Typhoon, executed a highly targeted campaign.
Right, and Salt Typhoon, they're known for their persistent long-term campaigns. They often focus on supply chain infiltration, high-value political secrets. And targeting legislative staff like this is a classic espionage move. It's designed to gather insight into U.S. policy.
And what's crucial here is the reaction. It really defines the diplomatic stalemate we're in. The incident, of course, raised huge national security concerns in Washington, but the Chinese embassy in the U.S. responded almost immediately.
And that denial was sharp. A spokesperson accused the U.S. of spreading disinformation, stating that China opposes all forms of hacking. So you have these two completely polarized perspectives. The U.S. is focused on national security, while China is focused on its international image. We really have to acknowledge both narratives.
Let's move to the Asia-Pacific, because the situation around Taiwan offers a very concrete illustration of this hybrid warfare.
Indeed. Taiwan's National Security Bureau reported a dramatic, sustained increase in attacks. They noted a tenfold escalation targeting critical energy infrastructure. And the volume is just, well, it's staggering. They're averaging 2.6 million cyber attacks daily.
2.6 million a day. That number suggests this isn't just about breaking a firewall, it's about constant debilitating pressure.
Precisely. Taiwan sees these attacks, which often line up perfectly with Chinese political or military moves, as clear hybrid warfare. China, on the other hand, frames these actions through a political lens, using them as, well, as warnings against what it calls separatism.
And we see that same pattern of infrastructure disruption extending right across Europe. Poland, for instance, thwarted a major Russian cyber attack attempt over the new year. Intelligence suggests it was aimed at causing a nationwide blackout.
And while that state-level attack was stopped, smaller, more disruptive ones still got through. The French postal service, La Poste, suffered a week-long outage that was attributed to the pro-Russian hacker group known as Mail057, and it underscores how civilian services are being targeted for disruptive effect.
So the defense strategy has to evolve beyond just firewalls. I saw that Ukraine is now proactively banning Russian-linked accounting software. Why focus there?
It's a very smart move. It's not about the ledgers themselves. It's about where that software sits deep inside the national economic data structure. These applications, they require high-level system permissions. They're prime targets for espionage or sabotage. Banning them is a clear move towards genuine digital sovereignty.
That's a critical point. So if that was about the state-level tensions, let's now look at how this all translates into measurable pain for everyday citizens and businesses.
The fallout is highly measurable, particularly in Germany. 4 separate municipalities in Brandenburg were hit by ransomware at the same time, causing serious service disruptions.
And the recorded data seems to tell only a fraction of the story.
Absolutely. In Saxony, cybercrime rose 24% in 2025. but authorities there estimate that up to 90% of attacks go completely unreported. That suggests the true scale of the problem is just exponentially larger than what we see in the official statistics.
So what are they doing to course correct?
Well, Brandenburg approved a new strategy for his central cybersecurity office. But nationally, Germany announced plans for something much bigger. A cyberdome. It's a digital defense system explicitly modeled after Israel's Iron Dome.
That's a fascinating analogy. The Iron Dome is a layered, integrated system. How does that translate to digital defense?
It translates directly to integration. The goal is to bring Germany's currently fragmented defenses, local, regional, national, into one cohesive strategic network. They're planning to leverage Israeli expertise to build that centralized structure, something capable of mitigating hybrid attacks much, much faster.
This effort to protect infrastructure, it brings us to the UK retail sector, which seems to have reached a tipping point for cyber risk in 2025. The costs were staggering.
The scale of loss really made the link between cyber risk and national economic health explicit. Jaguar Land Rover had to halt production for 5 weeks. That's over £1 billion in lost revenue. Separately, Marks & Spencer reported losing £324 million in sales.
And when the governor of the Bank of England is pointing to these incidents, you know it's no longer just a corporate security issue. This is a material risk to the UK's GDP.
It is. And the methods were sophisticated. They used social engineering, compromised third-party credentials, and deployed Dragon Force ransomware, which is attributed to the Scattered Spider Group. That group is known for blending human tactics with cutting-edge ransomware. They're incredibly difficult to counter.
Beyond finance, the healthcare sector is still a soft and very attractive global target.
It is. In Russia, the healthcare sector is second globally in medical data breaches. They faced something like 339,000 bot attacks in 2025 alone. And we also saw a highly controversial incident that raises serious questions about information control. A global review linking COVID-19 vaccination to cancer faced a mysterious cyber attack. It happened on the hosting journal, OncoTarget, right after publication, severely disrupting access.
That incident moves beyond standard hacking into something far more troubling for scientific discourse, for public trust.
It does. And while enforcement is getting tougher, France fined 2 mobile companies a combined €42 million for security failures. The message is clear. The cost of failure is becoming existential.
We've discussed state actors, economic damage, but nothing is accelerating this entire landscape faster than the AI factor. This seems to be the paradigm shift.
That is the ultimate pivot point, and it's happening right now. Experts are reporting that AI is involved in 85% of global cyber attacks in 2026. It's accelerating attack timelines from years down to weeks. Hacking has effectively become industrialized. Non-experts can now launch sophisticated attacks with purchasable toolkits.
Wait, if the offense is moving at machine speed years down to weeks, how is the defense responding? You mentioned something called cybersecurity mesh architectures, or CSMA. What is that?
It's a crucial concept. CSMA isn't a single product, it's more of a security philosophy. Instead of one massive firewall, security measures are distributed around every single user and device. It creates a unified network defense where AI agents can respond to threats locally. It makes the battlefield truly AI versus AI.
This industrialization of the threat, it naturally leads to the strategic response, this global race for what's being called digital sovereignty.
Exactly. That desire for control is driving massive political conversations, especially in Europe. Belgium's cybersecurity chief was very candid, stating that Europe has essentially lost the internet due to its reliance on U.S. cloud tech. He's urging the EU to develop its own digital products and AI capabilities to, well, regain control.
But innovation doesn't wait for regulation. Estonia is pioneering digital health by integrating genetic data with health records for over 20% of its population.
It's a high-stakes move. It allows for incredible precision medicine, but by centralizing that highly sensitive genetic data, they're creating an irresistible target. It really tests the limits of their digital sovereignty.
On the defense side, we saw 2 immediate responses: future planning from the U.S. and proactive hiring from the private sector.
That's right. The U.S. NIST released draft guidance for an AI cyber profile, setting the framework for defense. At the same time, OpenAI is proactively recruiting a readiness manager. It shows that even the most advanced AI firms know they need specialized staff to defend their own platforms from these AI-related risks.
This focus on domestic capability is also mirrored in global cooperation. Alliances like the EU and NATO are intensifying efforts, even securing space assets.
The underlying goal, whether in Estonia, Germany, or the U.S., is resilience, robust storage, and rapid detection. That is the foundation of digital sovereignty in the age of AI.
So let's synthesize these actions. What are decision makers globally prioritizing right now based on these threats?
Across continents, the priorities are remarkably similar. Immediate capacity building, technology integration, and governance reform. In India, for example, the Gujarat government is forming a task force to fortify its critical energy infrastructure, specifically smart grids and SCADA systems.
And for those unfamiliar, SCADA systems are the industrial controls that run power plants and water treatment. They're extremely high-value targets.
They are. And at the same time in Europe, Germany's interior minister is advocating for that Cyberdome partnership with Israel to create an integrated strategic defense system.
And we're seeing that focus on integration in Asia as well.
Yes. South Korea's Financial Security Institute is pushing for AI-powered fraud detection and also addressing governance challenges. The difficult line between national security and private sector privacy. Even in the Russian banking sector, Sberbank is stressing the adoption of CSMA to counter AI-enabled threats.
And back at that Asia-Pacific flashpoint,
Taiwan's National Security Bureau is focused on strengthening its hybrid warfare preparedness and international cooperation. So if you look at the broad common viewpoint across all these sources, the sentiment is urgent. There is overwhelming international support for coordinated defense strategies and intelligence sharing.
So if the world is mobilizing, what does this all mean for the immediate future? What specific events should our listeners be watching for?
We can track several near-term milestones. First, in AI and regulation, watch for the finalization of NIST's Cyber AI Profile Draft. The feedback period closes at the end of January 2026. That will set the foundational standards for AI defense.
A structure that will likely determine corporate and government security strategies for years.
Exactly. We also anticipate continued implementation of strategic projects in Europe throughout 2026, Germany's Cyberdome, new EU cloud sovereignty strategies. Geopolitically, expect ongoing investigations into the U.S. congressional breaches and, of course, any potential diplomatic repercussions. We also have to monitor reports of potential U.S. cyber operations against Iran.
And we should watch South Korea closely. They're expected to roll out their national cybersecurity strategy early in 2026 to stabilize their defenses. All of these are signals of the defense trying to catch up.
They represent a global attempt to codify a response to a threat that is constantly automating itself.
And the level of synthesis we've just provided, integrating diplomatic tension, technical details, economic impact, that's only possible thanks to the technology behind Stylo News. It's a mobile and computer app that you can download to customize your own personal intelligence briefs from hundreds of sources.
By using Stylo News, you get direct access to tools designed for global decision makers, providing that immediate, multi-dimensional view on global events, complete with citations for credibility.
Ready to track global events instantly. You can download the app today and subscribe to Stylo News to get AI-powered news on demand from www.stylonews.com. And that brings us to the close of this deep dive. Thank you for joining us as we navigated this incredibly complex and rapidly shifting landscape. We invite you to request topics for future deep dives and to follow Stylo News on your favorite social media platforms.
And as a final provocative thought for you to consider, if AI is industrializing cyber offense, globally accelerating sophisticated attacks from years down to mere weeks, how quickly can our democratic institutions adapt? How can their often fragmented and human-driven defenses possibly meet this automated threat? This challenge of agility, matching machine speed with human policy, that's the ultimate test of digital resilience for the next decade.
We'll see you next time for The Deep Dive.